Hello everyone, welcome back to Classic Comics. I did a recent video where I gave my choices for the best Marvel villains for Batman, if they were DC characters. Now I'm doing the same for the Man of Steel, finding the opponents I think are the most suitable for him and giving them new origins and backgrounds in the DCU. The first modern superhero, Superman has some of the most famous villains in comics, like Lex Luthor, Brainiac, Bizarro, and Doomsday. Like in my previous video, I looked at Superman's rogues gallery to determine what types of categories his villains fit into. Here's what I came up with. First, alien menaces. These are powerful alien threats like Darkseid, Mongol, Doomsday, and Mxyzptlk. Freaks of science. Humans who are transformed through some kind of accident into super beings. Parasite, Atomic Skull, Livewire, and Neutron fit this category. Kryptonite-based. Villains who get their powers from kryptonite. Metallo, Kryptonite Man, Conduit, and Cancer all fit this category. Kryptonians and duplicates. General Zod is the most obvious candidate in this group, but others include Bizarro, Cyborg, and the Sand Superman. Evil geniuses. Lex Luthor, Brainiac, Thaddeus Kilgrave, and Dabney Donovan fit this group. High tech. Villains who get their abilities from advanced technology. This group includes Toyman, Bloodsport, Blackrock, and Master Jailer. And finally, mystic threats. This includes Silver Banshee, Blaze, Satanus, and Baron Sunday. As with my Batman video, I've worked to create a list that covers a variety of the different categories I've mentioned here. Finding Marvel villains for Superman was more complicated than for Batman, as only the most powerful opponents can pose a challenge for him. But after narrowing it down, here are my top 5 Marvel villains for Superman. Number 5. The Leader. Samuel Stearns was a janitor in a lab who was exposed to gamma radiation, which mutated him into a super-intelligent being and named himself the Leader. He then embarked on a career of attempts at world conquest, which brought him repeatedly into conflict with the Hulk. In addition to being super intelligent, the Leader also has a photographic memory and can control the minds of others by touching them. He's also a technological genius who has created advanced robots, teleportation machines, and other weapons in his attempts to rule the world. In the DCU, Stearns would have worked at Star Labs and became the Leader after he was exposed to kryptonite in a lab accident. He then began plotting world domination, which brought him into conflict with Superman. The Leader could easily take the place of the old pre-crisis Lex Luthor, who was more of a mad scientist than the current corporate mogul version of the character. Like Lex Luthor, the Leader would become one of Superman's most frequent opponents, always returning from defeat with a new plot to destroy Superman in a classic matchup of brains versus brawn. Number 4. Radioactive Man. After Thor interfered with a Chinese invasion of India, Chinese scientist Qin Lu underwent a process that transformed him into the Radioactive Man, giving him super strength and allowing him to emit various types of radiation, as well as creating force fields powerful enough to repel even Thor's hammer. He then went to New York to face Thor and was defeated, but he became a recurring foe for Thor in the Avengers over the years as a member of the Masters of Evil. In the DCU, he would be a Chinese scientist experimenting with kryptonite. After Superman interfered in a Chinese military attack on another country, Lu would volunteer to avenge his country by exposing himself to high levels of kryptonite. This would mutate him and give him the power to emit kryptonite radiation in various forms. He then traveled to America to challenge Superman and was defeated, but Lu would return again over the years both as a solo villain and as a member of the Injustice League, always posing a dire threat to Superman due to the nature of his powers. Number 3. Hyperion. Marvel has several Superman knockoffs, but the first one was Hyperion, specifically the evil version of Hyperion that was a member of the Squadron Sinister, a group of villains assembled by the Grand Master to destroy the Avengers. The evil Hyperion was an artificial being created by the Grand Master and given false memories. He returned numerous times over the years as a member of the Squadron Sinister and as a solo villain, facing both Thor and the good version of Hyperion from the Squadron Supreme. Hyperion has a similar power set to Superman, with hyper strength, hyper speed, invulnerability, and atomic vision, making him an effective match for the Man of Steel. In the DCU, the Squadron Sinister would be created by Metron in a plot involving the Justice League of America and Epoch, the Lord of Time, with Epoch choosing the Justice League to fight for him, while Metron creates the Squadron Sinister to serve as his champions. The Squadron Supreme would be defeated and placed into an interdimensional prison from which they would later escape. Hyperion would return, alone and alongside the other Squadron Supreme members, to challenge both the Justice League and Superman again. Number 2. The Hulk. Caught in a blast of gamma radiation, brilliant scientist Bruce Banner was cursed to transform in times of great stress into a large green creature known as the Hulk. Over the years, the Hulk has been a hero, but has been a menace to the world around him as often as not, destroying everything in his path during his violent rages. These violent outbursts have pitted him against the most powerful heroes on Earth, such as the Avengers, the Fantastic Four, and others. In the DCU, Banner would be accidentally caught in the blast of an experimental kryptonite bomb. After his first transformation, the Hulk, vaguely remembering that Banner was testing a kryptonite bomb for Luthor, begins leaping his way across the country to get revenge on Luthor, putting him in conflict with Superman and the Justice League. Eventually, Superman and the Hulk would fight to a standstill in the streets of Metropolis, nearly killing each other in the process. But Banner would survive and later become a friend and ally to Superman over the years, often helping Superman solve scientific problems. But eventually, Banner would fall victim to another transformation and menace Metropolis and the Man of Steel again. Number 1. Thanos. A genocidal madman on a galactic scale, Thanos is the chief cosmic villain of the Marvel Universe. Thanos has fought most of Earth's major heroes at one time or another, with Adam Warlock, Captain Marvel, and the Avengers as his most frequent opponents. In the DCU, Thanos would be the ruler of Warworld, and a rival to Darkseid himself, determined to gain the secret of the anti-life equation before the ruler of Apocalypse does, bringing him into conflict with both Darkseid and Superman. Powerful enough to overwhelm most of Earth's heroes and defeat entire teams of heroes single-handed, the Man of Steel might be the only hero capable of defeating the Mad Titan on his own. His repeated defeats at Superman's hands would lead Thanos to become obsessed with destroying Superman, and with his raw power and devious intellect, Thanos would be capable of bringing Superman to the brink of death on more than one occasion, with the Man of Steel barely surviving to fight another day. Let me know what you thought of this list, and let me know what villains you would have included down in the comments. Also, please like this video and sub to the channel, and check out some of my other videos while you're here, and I'll see you all next time. Thanks for watching.